Peter Boghossian, a prominent philosopher and educator, is known for his critical approach to social issues, especially the intersection of belief systems and moral philosophy. His views on Donald Trump's first 100 days in office, morality, and the concept of God offer a unique lens through which to examine the challenges of modern political and ethical discourse. For many, the first 100 days of a presidency serve as a defining period that sets the tone for the years to come. Boghossian, however, does not simply evaluate these days based on policy decisions, but looks at the underlying moral and philosophical implications of Trump's leadership. By delving into the nature of political discourse, the role of religion in politics, and the moral framework that shapes public opinion, Boghossian invites us to reflect deeply on what these first 100 days reveal about both Trump's presidency and the state of contemporary society. Part 1: Trump's first 100 days, a critical evaluation. Peter Boghossian is no stranger to controversial opinions, and his take on Trump's first 100 days is no exception. While many Trump supporters viewed his early days in office as a period of significant political and social change, Boghossian saw them as a reflection of deeper societal issues. In particular, he questioned the moral integrity of certain decisions made during this period. For instance, Trump's approach to healthcare, immigration, and foreign relations stirred strong reactions, not only from political opponents but also from many who considered themselves morally opposed to some of the actions taken. Trump's handling of issues such as the Muslim travel ban and the dismantling of the Affordable Care Act raised important questions about the moral direction of the country under his leadership. Boghossian's critical perspective highlights that these decisions were not just political but were embedded in a deeper ethical framework that shaped his presidency. Boghossian challenges his audience to ask difficult questions. What does it mean to lead with moral clarity in a society that increasingly feels divided? How do decisions made by those in power reflect our collective morality as a nation? For Boghossian, Trump's first 100 days served as a reminder of the need to engage in critical thinking and approach political issues through an ethical lens, rather than just focusing on the outcomes. Part 2: Morality in the Age of Trump. For Peter Boghossian, one of the most pressing concerns during Trump's early presidency was the moral degradation he perceived in both the political system and in public discourse. According to Boghossian, Trump's polarizing nature has illuminated the ways in which morality has become increasingly subjective and manipulable in today's political climate. The moral framework that drives much of Trump's rhetoric seems to be rooted in pragmatism, where results matter more than principles. This approach has stirred much debate about the ethical implications of a leader who may not consistently adhere to moral standards but instead champions a win-at-all-costs mentality. Trump's actions often appear to be guided by self-interest, creating a moral vacuum that allows supporters to justify even the most controversial decisions. Boghossian believes that this shift in moral reasoning contributes to a dangerous trend in politics: the decline of moral reasoning in favor of tribalism and loyalty. In a society that increasingly prioritizes loyalty to political figures or ideologies over objective moral reasoning, we risk losing the ability to have rational discussions about what is right and wrong. Boghossian argues that in this environment, moral integrity becomes a secondary concern, and political and social issues are often framed in ways that make it difficult for individuals to see the broader ethical implications of their actions. Part 3: The role of religion in Trump's presidency. Boghossian has long been an outspoken critic of the intersection between religion and politics. His thoughts on Trump's relationship with religion in the first 100 days reflect his broader concerns about the way faith is used to justify political decisions. For many of Trump's supporters, religion served as a powerful tool during the election and continued to be a significant force throughout his presidency. Trump's strong support from evangelical Christians raised questions about the role of religion in shaping the political landscape. Boghossian warns that when religious ideology influences political decisions, it can lead to a dangerous compromise of moral values. He believes that religious leaders who align themselves with politicians like Trump risk distorting the moral framework of their faith to fit political agendas. Boghossian critiques the pandering that occurs when religious figures support politicians, not based on moral or ethical grounds, but because of political advantage. He sees this as a dangerous precedent that has the potential to weaken the integrity of both religion and politics. He questions whether the values of compassion, justice, and fairness promoted by most religions should be subverted for the sake of political gain. Additionally, he raises concerns about how religion can be used to justify harmful policies such as immigration bans or cuts to social programs under the guise of moral superiority. According to Boghossian, the manipulation of religious rhetoric for for political gain is not only ethically problematic but also undermines the authentic moral teachings that religion should embody. Part 4. The importance of critical thinking and moral responsibility. Throughout his career, Peter Boghossian has advocated for the importance of critical thinking in understanding the complex ethical and political issues of our time. He argues that in order to navigate the challenges posed by figures like Trump, individuals must apply reason, logic, and ethical principles to the problems at hand. In his view, society's moral compass has become increasingly muddled, and part of the reason for this is the lack of critical engagement with important issues. Boghossian believes that we must resist the urge to accept things at face value and instead question the moral frameworks that shape public policy. In the case of Trump's first 100 days, the rush to defend or condemn decisions without fully understanding their underlying ethical implications is counterproductive. Boghossian insists that we must be willing to engage in thoughtful reflection rather than allowing political allegiances to shape our understanding of morality. The process of moral reasoning is crucial not just for political leaders but for citizens as well. Boghossian stresses that each of us has a responsibility to be mindful of the ethical impact of our actions both on a personal level and as part of the broader political landscape. The rise of figures like Trump, with their divisive rhetoric and questionable moral choices, calls for a return to thoughtful engagement and ethical accountability. Only by applying critical thinking to our everyday decisions can we avoid becoming complicit in a moral decline. Part 5. The impact of Trump's rhetoric on public discourse. One of the most defining characteristics of Donald Trump's presidency was his rhetoric, blunt, polarizing, and often controversial. Peter Boghossian emphasizes the significant role that Trump's language played in shaping the moral and political landscape during his first 100 days in office. According to Boghossian, the president's rhetorical style was not just a matter of tone or communication strategy, it was reflective of a larger cultural shift toward division, tribalism, and the erosion of civil discourse. Peter Boghossian's reflections on Trump's first 100 days, morality and religion, challenge us to examine the deeper philosophical questions that arise from today's political climate. By encouraging critical thinking and moral reflection, he calls for a more thoughtful and reasoned approach to political decision-making. Trump's presidency has raised important questions about the intersection of morality, politics, and religion, and Boghossian's analysis offers a lens through which to engage with these issues. For Boghossian, the key to overcoming the moral and ethical challenges of our time lies in our ability to question the status quo and embrace rational discourse. Rather than blindly following political figures or religious ideologies, he urges individuals to engage with the world around them in a way that is informed by reason, compassion, and a commitment to moral integrity. Only by doing so can we build a society that is truly just and ethical.